Hey everyone, we're here at my mom's house with a whole carload of beautiful annuals to plant in her garden. We're going to start by planting up her containers that are stacked over here with some beautiful annuals, along with some really nice annuals for her front containers on her porch and in her planter. So I have Ben here with me today, and we're going to replace all of the soil, start fresh, amend the soil, and get everything planted, along with run the drip in the front yard. So we're glad that you're here to see this process today, and we'll show you what we've got going on. So the first plant that we have here is the Super Bina Sparkling Rosé that came in a couple weeks ago. That's going to go in her front planter, and it's going to fill in beautifully and even maybe spill over a little bit, but I think it's going to be a great ground coverage, and it is just full of color. I mean, look at those blooms. If you remember from that video that I did a couple weeks ago, when these came in from Proven Winners, they were very small and they are just ready to go. So we're going to put those in there first. And then we have the Bright Lights Osteospermum, which this is the African daisy. This is so beautiful. It has a double bloom on it, so they stay open longer. They don't close at night like some osteos do. So these are going to go in her back containers, along with some other beautiful things here as well. Along with the osteos, we're going to be planting some Super Bells Yellow. This is the Yellow Improved, along with the really, really beautiful Pina Colada Lantana, which will give it some height in these back pots back here. And then going in her front containers are these beautiful Surefire red begonias. I mean, these couldn't be any prettier, and I think these are going to be great all season long there. I mean, look at these. These are gorgeous. So excited to see how these do this year. And then along with the Surefire red, we're going to be planting these brand new Surefire white begonias that are out this year. So we're going to alternate pots. We're going to have some pots that are all white and 3 pots that are all red with the other Surefires. So that should be really nice on the front porch and give a really cool contrast in look as you look down the line there. And then finally, Ben's going to plant some of these seed starts that we started so that she has plenty of tomatoes to get her through the season, because tomatoes are important. So she's going to love that as well. So one of the things that we're going to use today as we amend the soil is the Proven Winners slow release fertilizer that is heat activated and will last a long period of time before you have to fertilize again. So they do have the nutrients that they need to succeed through the season. All right, let's get going. All right, so we put these containers back up here, and I put these little terracotta feet underneath them so it would give it some lift, so I could bring the drip irrigation cable from the bottom through the drainage hole up through the side, so it would go right into the center. And this is where I have a little tiny emitter on the top here, a circular emitter, so when I plant the begonias in here, it'll reach all of them. And the cool thing about this is it will help with the drainage as well, because the pots are no longer sitting directly on the concrete, and it also helps keep the drip irrigation line from becoming unruly and falling out of the container by running them over the side. So this is definitely a better option. And you know, these little terracotta feet that I bought, they're only like $8 at Lowe's right now, so I think that's a good investment for sure. And we'll see how those work, because already it's holding that irrigation line much better than it was before. So we're going to see how that works, and Ben's going to plant these up right now with the beautiful begonias. So let's get started. Here we go. right, everybody. Now talk about a complete transformation just by planting annuals. This is such a great result. And it's 2 weeks later. We potted these up about almost 2 weeks to the day. And they look beautiful. You can tell that this beautiful yellow color is just going so well together. The dark yellow, the light yellow, and then the yellow and cream. And guys, you can see these from the street when you're passing by. You see these pots lining the driveway. They're absolutely beautiful. And my mom can see them from the house. And it's just a really nice way to cheer up a small space in the backyard. These pots are about 20 to 22 inches. I'm not quite sure exactly, but they look similar to what I have in my yard. And what we did was we planted, just as a review, we planted the Bright Lights osteospermum right here. This is the African daisy, along with the yellow, Superbell's yellow, and then the Pina Colada lantana in the back. And the lantana is kind of small right now still, but it's really doing well, and pretty soon it's going to tower over everything and even probably take over most of the pot. The idea is maybe we'll have these osteos coming off to the side, and definitely the yellow Superbells will still spill out into the front area, which will give it a super dramatic effect. I always love Superbells because of their ability to spill over and look amazing all the time. So what we did is basically we took these pots, which we had emptied out. By the way, all of her annuals we had cleared out in the whole garden, and so we just came in one day and replanted everything, and it was a transformation just like that. So it was really satisfying. But anyways, back here we used the moisture control fertilizer, a little bit of plant tone, and then just planted these straight in the pot. And I think she waters these every 3 days or so. She'll probably have to water a little bit more when it gets warm, but they're doing great. I'm so excited. Yeah, so this is a big transformation in the backyard. And also the tomatoes that Ben planted from seed in little seed cells at our house, he planted for my mom here, and they have, like, I want to say doubled or even tripled in size in 2 weeks. What we used to plant these in the pots were the same thing, the moisture control soil from Miracle Grow. And then also, I believe, Ben, did you use tomato tone or garden tone? Tomato tone. All right, so we used some tomato tone, which is specific to tomatoes, and obviously they're super happy. So let's take a look at the transformation in the front yard, and you guys are going to be amazed. Also in the front yard, there were no annuals in the flower beds, and we had cleared her pots away over the winter, so there was really nothing out there that was blooming except for some azaleas that went through a early spring bloom. But man, it looks completely different, and it's very satisfying to see how these things have taken hold. So let's take a look. So the biggest transformation, I would say, is this beautiful front porch full of Surefire begonias. And man, does it make a statement having the Surefire red along with the brand new for 2023 Surefire white begonias. And I think it really does look spectacular in the front yard here. Now these 18-inch containers we had cleared away for the winter time, and I put them in the backyard because when they're empty, obviously when the wind blows they could blow too, so I put them in the back. And so we brought them back out, filled them with some moisture control fertilizer, and then put some plant tone in there and planted these along with the drip irrigation line going through the bottom that I talked about earlier. So I think that they're going to pretty much grow at the same rate. I don't know about the white, but it looks like it's catching up. But anyways, it's sure going to be beautiful, and I'll give you updates through the season to let you know how these things grow. So let's go ahead and take a look at the planters. All right, so the final piece in this front yard transformation with the new annuals is the beautiful sparkling rosé Super Bina from Proven Winners. And I mean, these things were so small when they first were delivered, and they grew in their cans a little bit. Ben planted these up 2 weeks ago, and they have like more than doubled in size, which I think is amazing to see how they change in just a short period of time. I think it's a beautiful garden, don't you guys? And I know that my mom's been really enjoying this, and it sure was a pleasure to plant these up with Ben and run all the drip irrigation line and get them all ready so that they bloom throughout the season. It was definitely super satisfying. I don't think I've ever planted that many annuals up in one day, and so it sure was a lot of fun. So we'll give you updates throughout the season. Until then, thank you guys for stopping by my mom's garden today, and we'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye, everybody.